Ladies and more people that I am grateful for, Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet. This is the Kill Your Inner Loser show. Let's fucking go. I want to do another one of these episodes where I talk about people that I'm grateful for. So this one's going to be focused on the people who helped me pay the bills and save a lot of stress there. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I went through over the last year or so. For those of you who are new, who weren't the OGs, who don't know that story, I'll talk about that in a second. But I'll list some of the people here. So Crisis Overcomer, Playtime is Over, Gravytrain or David, Paige, who was a woman that I had on my show, Dan Henry, Joe, George, Imogen. There's a few others. There'll be plenty of people there that I'm missing. So if I've missed someone, I apologize. But these are the people that have pushed me with making money, or in some cases actively sat down with me. In Crisis Overcomer's case, actively sat down with me. This guy went above and beyond. He sat down with me. He heard me struggling, or heard me talking about struggling with money, struggling with stress, struggling with paying the bills, all that kind of stuff. I was losing my fucking mind with stress, trying to build this coaching business up. And he sat down with me for like 2.5 hours and just ran through, basically made me feel a whole lot better, but ran through a bunch of different ideas and things I could try, direction to take my content. He was one of the people, along with Radical, who gave me permission to do shorter episodes, because I was doing like 1.5 hour long episodes for a while there. I was just doing epically long episodes. And both those two guys, so Crisis Overcomer and Radical, both said like, dude, you're doing a podcast or a YouTube video every single day. Why the fuck are they like 1.5 hours or an hour long? Just like make them 10 minutes, make them like 15 minutes. Just talk until you finish the point and then cut it off. I had this pressure on myself. I invented this like bullshit rule that said I had to go for an hour or something. Otherwise I'm being lazy or something weird. But those two guys I'm very appreciative to, especially Crisis Overcomer, who, like I said, sat down with me for a long time and helped me get my mindset right and stuff like that. I also want to thank like guys like Playtime is Over, Joe, George, plenty of other guys who basically were excited for me, who were my biggest cheerleaders. And there's other people as well, but those guys in particular were the ones who were like, I want you to fucking make money. Like, if you make money, you can teach us how to make money. Like, please hurry up and make some fucking money. Stop being a pussy. Stop being scared. Stop worrying about, I had all these fears of like using people and, oh, but like I should be giving out my advice for free, because plenty of people will ask you for free advice. By the way, most people who email you will ask you for free advice. And so I felt like an obligation, or I'd set up a bullshit rule in my head that said I'm obliged to help someone if they just ask for it. And at some point you have 30 emails a week of people saying, can you please help me? Can you please help me? Can you please help me? And of course you can't help all those people. You just don't have time. You don't have time. Especially not when you have bills to pay, you have paying clients and all that. But these guys in particular pushed me and said, dude, please put your prices up. Please make money. Please go all in with this. Stop pussyfooting around, because if you make money, you can teach us how to make money. You will lift us up. So I'm very grateful to them for that. I'm grateful to David, or Gravytrain as he's known, because he abso-fucking-lutely has given me the most advice out of everyone. I could talk for an hour. I could talk for 3 hours about everything he's done for me. All I really need to say is I'm fucking grateful to him. He's a fucking legend of a human being. I wouldn't be where I am today without him. Other people that have helped me are Dan Henry. If you're not familiar with him, just go look up Dan Henry. He talks about how to make money, how to do coaching, how to raise your prices, how to charge a decent amount, how to give like a premium product. So rather than just charging like $50 an hour, it's like, how do I charge $10,000 for coaching? Like, how do I fucking change someone's life, like literally change their life, and they pay me $10,000 for that, rather than, you know, the old model, what I was doing before, which is I'll just sit down with you for an hour and you can pay me $200 and we'll talk through your issues. That doesn't necessarily solve anything. It's not guaranteed results. It's not like pay me this money and your life will change. It's like, well, I'll just talk to you and make you feel a little better for an hour, and maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. So very grateful to Dan Henry. Very grateful to Paige. I did an interview with Paige. I'll link that in the description below. She's a coach as well, and she's gone through this whole process like me of putting your prices up, helping people get results, all that sort of stuff. That interview with her is very fucking interesting. And if you want a hook to make you want to go and listen to that, she's a stripper and she talked about stripping. So that'll make you want to go and listen to that. Link in the description below to that one. But let's take a step back and talk about like where I was at. For those of you who've been following me from the very beginning, you know I started this website 3 and a bit years ago, or I started my website 3 and a bit years ago. I started this YouTube channel and this podcast. Like, I started the podcast a year ago and this YouTube channel only like 4 or 5 months ago. But for the first couple of years, I had no intention of making any money from coaching. I was working a job, just normal. I was just writing the articles to help people, and also more than anything to get my own thoughts out, to clarify, to, I guess you could say, to give back, because obviously people had helped me. I'd got a lot of free information. I wanted to like pay it forward, so to speak. If I keep this information and stuff I've learned in my head, that almost feels unfair to everybody else, given other people gave me everything that was in their head. So I felt an obligation to share it, right? And at some point, people started hitting me up for coaching, and I didn't charge them any money, just did it for free. But at some point, a couple of people gave me money and said, like, dude, I got to give you money. You've just like really fucking helped me. Like, let me just send you some money, basically a donation. From there, I put my price up to like $20 an hour or something. It was like pathetic. And when I say $20 an hour, those calls were really like 2 or 3 hours long. Like, I'm someone that really has long calls because I really give a shit. I don't leave until everything is solved, basically. And so it was like $20 for like 3 hours. So like, what's that? Like $8 an hour, $7 an hour. And so from there, you know, I slowly raised my prices over the next couple of years, but I wasn't making very much money, and like not even remotely enough to pay the bills. I still needed a part-time or a full-time job for a while. I was working in a warehouse. I was commuting like an hour and a half to work and then an hour and a half back. And on the train and the bus, I would write articles. That was how I wrote my articles. I didn't have any other free time because I was working full-time at that point. I didn't have any other free time. The weekends I had to use for the gym, and I would write some articles on the weekend, sure. But I was basically stressed out of my fucking mind. It was like a grind. It was absolute fucking agony. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Definitely the most stressful. Let's just say it like that. And I grinded like that for like a year and a half. And it's funny because I have this discussion with Imogen quite a lot. Anyone who comes from now onwards and sees my content, like any of you who've only just come in the last like 6 months, you're just going to see the person sitting in front of you who can pay all the bills and who makes quite a lot of money from coaching. I think this month we made $16,000 US this month. So I'm making a lot of money at this point in time. Now, it's not consistent. I have some bad months here and there, but like the bad months now are like $5,000 US. That's a bad month. So that's a pretty fucking good month. I think most people would be like, dude, that's insane fucking money. And so those of you who are new, you would just see that. And you think like, oh man, I've had people tell me like, oh, I'm jealous of what you're doing. And it's like, it's good that you're jealous because I want you to do the same thing. I want you to be inspired and go and do it yourself. But like, you have to understand, there was like 3 years of grinding, 3 years of I can't sleep, 3 years of like 4 hours of sleep, stressed out of my mind. My heart was fucking racing. I would have nightmares, cold sweats. We would walk around all day and I'd just be like, I'm going to be homeless. Like, we didn't have enough money for the rent for like 6 months in a row. It's like I had to take out bank loans and shit. Literally, I had to hope and pray this would work out. Why do you think I was so stressed? I'd have to hit up past clients and be like, please, like, would you like to do another coaching call? I'll give you a discount. I was giving people discounts just to get them on board. I was, you know, posting articles and doing videos where I was trying to keep it together, but like, you can see the cracks starting to appear. I'm like, man, I'm losing my fucking mind. That's why I'm really grateful for people like Crisis Overcomer, Radical, you know, those kind of people who jumped in and said, I'll give you some advice. Like, let me help you. The people that helped me, I'm genuinely fucking grateful for. They saw me struggling and they said like, dude, like, you're just losing your fucking mind. Let me help you. So years of this. And again, it's funny that anyone who comes in from now for the rest of my life, anyone who comes in is going to say like, oh, Andy, man, you're so blessed. You've got this business. You get to do whatever you want. You get to do content creation. You're getting a fuck ton of money from coaching. Really fucking good money. Let's be honest. Holy shit, dude. Like, you're living the dream, dude. Like, there'll even be people that are envious. There'll even be people that are mad. And it's like, you just missed the start of the story. It's like you skipped to halfway through the book. And that's not your fault. You're not going to go back and read all my old shit. I understand that. But it's always going to be amusing to me for the rest of my life. And I mean, you can even segue here. You can even say tax is the same thing. The government and taxes are not there. The government is not there for you when you're building a business. Absolutely don't give a fuck about you. In fact, fuck you. You still owe taxes. Doesn't matter that you have debt. Doesn't matter that you can't pay your rent. Fuck you, faggot. And then the moment you make it, it's like, hey, come on, give me some of that. Share that. And it's like, where were you when I was building this up? Like, you weren't there for me at all. Like, why do you want 50% of my income now? Which taxes in Australia are 50%, by the way, when you earn above a certain amount, which is just insane. Segue. But anyone who comes along now, that's the bottom line, or that's the main point I'm getting to. Anyone who comes along now is sort of going to be like, you're just not going to know the original story. And I guess, whatever, that's going to fade into the background. It's like a lot of people now will come and say like, oh, you get laid a lot. Look at you having threesomes and shit like that. I'm jealous. And it's like, you don't understand that I went through like 10 years of depression, suicidal thoughts, like literal couldn't leave the house from agoraphobia. Absolutely thought I was going to die by the time I was 30. In fact, I'd set that goal up that by the time I'm 30, that's when I'll kill myself. If I ever get to 30, I kill myself. I can't go past 30. I have to kill myself. Like, to go from that and overcome all of that, lose like 77 pounds of fat, but most of that just fades into the background. And even now, I will get it. It's funny. I got the most hilarious comment ever on my channel like a week or two ago. Some guy said, it was on the video I did that was titled, Why is Imogen with me? And essentially we were talking about like, what does she get out of the relationship? What do I get out of the relationship? The point of that podcast was to say, every relationship you're in, figure out what you get out of it, what the other person gets out of it, and then decide, is it worth it, yes or no? That's kind of like the cost-benefit analysis you want to do of every relationship. So on that video, this guy commented and said, I'll tell you the real reason Imogen is with you. It's because you're rich. And it's like, Imogen cracked. I told her that and she just lost it. She cracked up. She like laughed so hard. She's like, you've only been rich for like 3 months. Like, I've known you for we've been together for 3 years. You were poor as fuck. You were in debt by like $30,000, which I still technically am in debt. I haven't paid off all my bank loans and shit. So I am technically still in debt by something like 20,000 Australian dollars. So technically I have negative 20,000 Australian dollars right now. So technically I'm poor and poverty, but that's debt. It's different. I have money, but man, like that just absolutely shows you what I'm talking about here. People would just come along now and be like, you're rich, dude. That's why your bitch is with you. She's a gold digger. The only reason you get laid is because you're attractive. And it's like, yeah, but do you understand that I had to get to that point? Did you miss the whole underdog story? Did you miss the whole like transformation story? Did you miss the years of struggling, the years of pain, misery, the years of fucking stressing my dick off? And yes, some of that was self-inflicted. I've talked about it in previous videos. Yes, I probably self-inflicted a lot of the stress with coaching. I could have made my coaching into a full-time gig within a year and a half. I took 3 years. Part of that was a lot of self-doubt and believing that I didn't deserve it, believing that I was using people, believing that no one would pay me money, that if I pushed myself in a direction of money, that would harm the content. That's a very big concern that I think almost every content creator has. You think every artist kind of has that. Musicians have that, where they're like, if I go in the direction of money, then I'm being a sellout and I'm losing the message. The art won't be the same. I can't help people, like all that kind of stuff, which is frankly bullshit. When you help yourself, when you make more money, you have a lot more to give. My content right now is a lot more heartfelt than it was 2 years ago, because 2 years ago, I was struggling to pay the fucking bills. And all that was on my mind was, holy shit, I'm going to be homeless. It's very hard to do a podcast helping other people, or an article helping other people, or coaching helping other people, when in your mind you're thinking, and it sucks to say this, but in your mind you're thinking like, man, this guy here is bitching about the fact that he can't fuck another girl when he's already fucked 30 and I'm about to be homeless. Like, it's a selfish thought. Yeah, but that's my point. That's in the back of your head. And you have to push that down and be like, no, this guy has paid you money. This guy is here to change his life. This guy is negatively affected by this. I want to empathize with this guy, but you just have like less empathy because you're stressing about your own needs. That's kind of the way needs go. That's why a lot of newbies don't have much empathy. That's why a lot of people who reply and comment and stuff like that, no, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but every now and then I'll get a reply from someone who will say something to me that's unempathetic because they're still at the point where they haven't handled their own needs. I get that. When you haven't handled your own needs, it's hard to care about other people. All you can see in front of you is the fact that all you can see is your own needs that haven't been met. Those are so obviously, painfully right in front of your fucking face that you can't even imagine moving past that and thinking about someone else or trying to help someone else. So that's where I was at for many, many, many years, which is why it's always going to be hilarious to me for the rest of my life whenever anyone says like, oh, you're rich, or you're good looking, or you get laid a ton, or you're fucking lean, like whatever it is that they cherry pick and say, man, I'm jealous of that, or you're lucky to have that. I get that sometimes too. You're lucky to have that. And it's like, are you joking? Like, I earned that. I poured like 3 or 4 years of like agony into that. Like even the girl stuff, it's like I've been self-improving with getting laid since I was 28. I'm 34 now. It took me about 3 years to get to a point where I was getting laid pretty easily and I was happy with my sex life. And so if you're jealous of that, it's like, just go and do what I did. That's the whole point of my website. That's the whole message. That's the whole point of this channel. Go and do what I've done. I did it. You can absolutely do it too. Let's bring it back to the original point. I'm very grateful to all the people that were there for me when I went through those years of struggles. When I couldn't sleep, when I couldn't pay the bills, when I had to take out bank loans and get extensions and hit up old clients and say, can you do another session with me, please? I kind of need the money. I had to say that to a few people. Some people, another one I haven't shouted out is RogerRoger. Was one of the people that multiple times said, I will pay for coaching in advance. I will give you a lot of money now and pay for it in advance. He was also incredibly fucking gracious and told me that he would pay me extra because I needed the money. Ed is another person who's done the same thing multiple times, and I am very grateful to them and everybody else who was there for me. Even those of you who sent me emails and said, hey dude, you're going to make it, like, keep pushing. Sorry that you're stressed. There is a guy, I don't think he wants me to use his name. I think he wants to be anonymous, but he will know who he is. He sent me multiple emails with advice on making money and motivation and stuff like that. And at some point, he bought me 3 books on making money. He literally shipped them to me, he asked my address. I said, that's really sweet of you, dude. You don't have to do that. And he's like, no, please, I want to. So I gave him my address. He sent me 3 books on making money, which were very fucking valuable. Stuff like that. I don't think there's a way I can get across my gratitude. And I think the best I can hope to muster is I'm really grateful. I really, really, really appreciate you guys. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. I hope it's coming across here. It's probably not coming across the extent that I feel it, but I went through years of struggle. This was really fucking hard. Making money was really fucking hard. Definitely the most stressful thing I've ever done, for sure. Way more than getting laid. Way more than losing weight. Way more than, the Approach Anxiety program or any of that stuff. Making money was infinitely more stressful. Infinitely, like orders of magnitude. It was definitely I think I'm willing to say it was the hardest thing I've ever done, even more so than overcoming depression, fixing my agoraphobia, learning how to make friends, getting over breakups. I think this was way harder. And all of you who pushed me, who were cheerleaders, even those of you who just wrote a nice email or a nice YouTube comment, or just a short offhanded thing like, hey dude, thanks, that stuff really helped me. I wouldn't have gotten here without you guys, and I don't think, maybe it's my fault, I don't think you guys understand how much you really helped me, and I will always be grateful for that. I'm very fucking grateful for that. The best I can hope to do is pay it forward. It's what the point of these videos are. That's why I'm doing coaching. Obviously, coaching is also to pay the bills and make money, sure, but I will do my absolute best to pay it back because I'm very fucking grateful that you guys helped me. As always, guys, go out and crush your goals, and thank you.